It's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome to episode 706 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as we get ready to talk about the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. So please keep your hands inside the moving vehicle at all times, put your tray table up and your seat back into the full upright position, grab a desired beverage or sit of your choice, and remember, from this point forward, it's for realsies. All right, let's introduce the posse for this episode, shall we? Well, look, there's the yin to my yang. It's been a while. From merry old England, it's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful, Matt. How are you, sir?
I'm just pleased to be alive, to be honest.
We all are. We're glad you're here.
It's been a rough off season for me. I've had a rough off season.
You've had a rough one. A lot of sickness.
Medicals, lots of all that sort of stuff. So I had a lot of medical time off. But of course, NHS didn't pay for any of it. It's great.
No. And you know, Brexit and all that fun stuff. So.
Oh, it's too early for Brexit. Oh.
Well, we're hanging in with you, Matt, and we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yep. And oh, look over there. It's our news hound, Shadowhawk Will. Hi, Will. Will, I know your name.
That's good, Moses. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Not so great. I took the Antonio Brown correspondence course on career advancement, and now I'm unemployed. I should have read that little disclaimer. Must be a Pro Bowl caliber athlete.
Yeah. Oh, man. Antonio Brown. What an offseason, huh? Man, hard to believe.
The gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. And oh, look, it's wait, who is that? It's Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey guys, how's everybody been?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. Kids
Good.
turned 16, so that's been kind of crazy.
Wow.
Oh my God. Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah, they're 16 now. Don't have their licenses yet. We still have to for Washington have to meet a certain amount of hours driven before they can take the test.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happened.
That is some scary stuff right there. 16-year-old twins. Woo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's going to be scary is the insurance bill when they get their license.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not rib-shotting that one because I just felt that one myself and my daughter, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Ooh.
Yeah, God be with you on that one. And also from sunny California, look, it's Statsman Mark. Mark, how are you?
I am doing well. I was so fired up for the show tonight that I pushed it back a half hour. So I'm in
Mark's
already
like,
in mid.
it's 6:30. We're like, it's gonna be 6. No, it's 6:30. Okay, we'll make it 6:30.
But then just in I remember Dennis going to high school football games, I think, a year ago, and so the show.
Not anymore.
Oh,
He graduated. See, Mosette graduated.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. See, but I love one of the things that's great about Antonio Brown is reading Drew Rosenhaus defending him. I mean, how does he keep a straight face? It's just beautiful, like legal and lawyer speak. It's awesome.
Oh, those wonderful lawyers. Yeah, it's been a great season for Antonio Brown.
We tried to handle the helmet issue professionally. What, are you kidding? Anyway.
Can you imagine if he'd been unprofessional about it?
My God.
Exactly.
How do you say it without laughing? We tried to settle the helmet issue professionally. I just, you can't.
This is a guy who represented Terrell Owens. Okay,
Exactly.
I mean
Next
the guy.
question.
He's had
Next
years
question.
of experience.
Yeah. What about that Packers-Bears game last night?
How about them Bears?
It sucked.
Well, one thing doesn't suck, and that's this show. We talk about Seahawk football here, and that is always a good time. And let's go ahead, gentlemen. Let's get ready for our 157th episode. Sweet!
All right, fellas, let's go!
All right, let's go. This show is run just like a real NFL football game. 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter 1, Seahawk roster. We're going to talk about that, trimming down the roster to 53 men, and what we thought would happen, what we thought didn't happen, what we thought was going to happen. Quarter 2, mind-blowing 2019 Seahawk predictions, and we'll talk a little bit about our 4th annual Posse Prediction Challenge. Yes, once again, we are challenging people to our predictions. We'll get more of that later. Halftime is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. I refer to, of course, 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world.
Last episode's winner, I believe. Who was last episode's winner? Was that you, Dustin?
I didn't think so. Maybe. I kind of thought it was Will because I'm pretty sure I remember the Transformers song being played.
Will, did you win last?
I thought I had the time before, but maybe it was the last time. I don't know.
We don't
Maybe.
know. It's been a long time ago. We've all slept since then. But it's a new season, as Matt would say. They're for real now, right, Matt?
Doesn't count anyway, so who cares who won last one?
Oh, what?
That's the spirit. Game
Spoken
3.
like someone who was not here last time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Quarter 3, we go
I
through
was
game
dying,
info.
Will.
We've got so much
I was
info for you in the
dying.
third quarter. It's unbelievable. We've got numbers. We've got weather. We've got fashion. We've got injury reports. We've got a little bit of a reading of Seahawk positivity. We've got a little bit of everything coming up in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, we put all that game information between the Seahawks and the Bengals together. We make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for that game. Remember, before we start, we'd like to remind you to share, subscribe, and like the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email is 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Check us out on iTunes and Podbean. And also throughout this show, we are going to do a special thing because it is the Bengals. And the Bengals are known to have a rather shady past. So I thought it would be good periodically to do some of the lowlights of the Cincinnati Bengals throughout history and take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals police blotter from the past.
Just don't do the icky shuffle.
So, and of course, with this theme song. All right, this is the Cincinnati Bengals police blotter from the past. In this installment, we're going all the way back to 2006 because 2006 was quite an amazing season for the police blotter for the Cincinnati Bengals because they were on it 13 times in one season. That's right. Chris Henry provided alcohol to 3 underage females, possession of a concealed firearm, improper exhibition of a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm. It's a lot of firearm. He also later went on and had a DUI. He also went on to have weed possession. A.J. Nicholson, 2006, burglary, vandalism, grand theft. Frosty Rucker, vandalism, spousal battery. Reggie McNeil, resisting arrest. This is all Bengals, 1 year. Drug possession. Eric Steinbach, boating under the influence. Admit it, you didn't even know that happened. It just goes on and on. DUIs for Odell Thurman. Quincy Wilson, disorderly conduct. Kind of weak, but, it counts. So that's your latest edition of the Cincinnati Bengal crime blotter through history. So we'll be...
I guess Pac-Man must not have been on the team that year.
Well, he has an edition coming up soon. So, but before we
All right.
go on with that, we want to start the first quarter.
It's the first quarter, bitches.
All right, the Seahawks finished the preseason 3-1, trimmed the 90-man roster down to 53. Will, who kind of stood out at you during the preseason that didn't make that roster? Isn't on the roster right now. There were a lot of jostling since then. But who did you think, wow, I thought they'd make the team and they didn't?
Well, I was pretty surprised. I mean, they're back with the team now, but I was pretty surprised when Geno Smith and Jerron Brown were cut. Mm-hmm. And, it makes sense in retrospect because, the Clowney trade hadn't been finalized. They were trying to sneak some guys through to the 53 so they could put them on IR and bring them back later. But, both players said that they received offers from other teams in the interim. And we tried this, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but a defensive lineman named Tom Johnson. Mm-hmm. We tried to cut him and bring him back a couple days later, and he actually went elsewhere. So we could have lost Geno Smith. We could have lost Jerron Brown. Thankfully, they both came back.
Loyalty. That's a big, that was a big deal. I think Geno kind of won the spot over Lynch. I was kind of impressed with him last game. I thought he had some nice plays in the last game.
No, last two games he looked pretty good. So
that one throw was beautiful. That one touchdown throw. That's why he was a first round pick. Dustin, surprises in the preseason, good or bad?
I think my biggest surprise as far as a player not on the team was Austin Calitro, because the dude. He played his butt off, and he was a good linebacker for us last year, so I was surprised he didn't make it. I think a big part of that, though, is because it's kind of a... I think this is what kind of affected it, is that Jadeveon Clowney came over, so we ended up losing Mingo and Martin. Mingo and Martin are both strong special teams players. I thought Shaquem Griffin wasn't going to make the team. I thought he was kind of last man out at linebacker. But Shaquem made the team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because of the Clowney trade, because they need the help on special teams.
Yeah.
That was kind of a crazy one to me.
I agree. Matt?
Yeah, I think Jacob Hollister was interesting to me because I thought he done quite well, but obviously he did end up on the practice squad. But from a tight end perspective, I'm quite interested to see how they play George Fant as a sort of lumbering oaf type of tight end. I'm quite looking forward to that.
Number 74 is reporting as eligible. 74 as eligible.
Repeat when that happens, you're like, this is going to be great. I don't know what's going to happen now, but it's going to be amazing.
Jet sweep's coming this year.
I hope so.
I really do.
That would be that would be my favourite play by far. I don't know why I was sort of almost thinking whether Luke Wilson. I mean, 2 tight ends doesn't seem like very much to me. That was all.
Yeah,
that was something that did stand out to me.
That 2 tight ends is weird, especially. Yeah, it kept 7 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. It's also kind of a surprise.
It is from a guy who in college played a lot of 3 tight end sets.
Mm-hmm.
Carroll. That was kind of surprising. I agree. Yeah.
And the other thing for me was that I was Bo Scarborough. Not getting there because mainly because I loved hearing you guys try and say the word Scarborough and messing it up.
Scarborough Fair.
That's what I was thinking. That would have been a cool nickname too. I bet he's got Scarborough Fair as a nickname. Zorny, what are your thoughts?
Well, right now they are if Scarborough had parsley, sage, rose. That'd be great if those were the names of his daughters. Like he just kind of went the whole. Anyway,
that would be awesome. At least have his dog's name Rosemary. Oh my gosh!
Can I just say though, right? Because I've been to Scarborough, which is where that's from, and it's a shit place.
Well, that's figures.
Scarborough Fair. No, it's crap.
Oh man, the surprise. I don't know, and I read an article and I can't remember the details, but here we brought back. Cassius Marsh had, I think, 5 or 6 sacks for the Niners, and talked about being grateful to get out of New England. And he comes back to our team. I just assumed he'd be on the team, and now he's with Arizona. So.
I doubt that was a coincidence that he happened to go to one of our division rivals.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But so now he's hanging with Kyler and.
Who else is there really?
Kyler and Fitzgerald, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say Peterson, but
I was surprised by Marsh, and I thought that Shaquem would be let go. But I'm wondering if they just, I don't know. I'm wondering how much of a pull, like Shaquille, like if they split the brothers, is that going to be a big distraction? I don't know how. Yeah. You never know because those you can't be any closer than those two, but they also have to understand, it's a business. But
they do, I'm sure.
But I'm glad Shaquem's still there. It's maybe I don't know, he gets more plays.
Well, I'm ashamed of all of you. I am ashamed.
You usually are.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard that.
Clearly, the elephant in the room, the surprise of training camp was CJ Prosize, boys.
I was going to say.
You gotta say, CJ Prosize was the surprise of camp. I'm ashamed of y'all.
Wait, real quick, and maybe I'll be Drew and speak for my clients here. We still forgot he was on the team.
That's true.
So we forgot to mention.
And he just breaks your heart because he went out there and he
breaks everything else
really well, and you go, oh no. Jacob, my son, Lil Mo and I are like, oh no, why is he playing so well?
It's just
why can't he suck?
It's that moment where you know that he's probably injured himself celebrating the fact he made the team. So
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
He did look really good on several plays. I forgot how the quickness. You could really see it. It's like, whoa, that's an extra. It felt like a video game. Like all of a sudden, it was like fast forward. It's like, whoa.
Stop it. Yeah. Stop it. because
I know.
Yeah, he reminded us of why Carroll's had him on the roster all these years.
Exactly.
And I'm sure in a couple weeks he'll remind us of why we've barely seen him in the last few years.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's going to be a Paul Richardson type situation. Richardson was constantly injured for his first few seasons, and then he had a good one with us, and then he went on somewhere else and got injured more. But I mean, he had a good year with us. I'm
That's
hoping
one
that's
hell of an
pro-size.
if, but if he can, just say, if I hate to say it because it's a big if, but if he can make it through the season, what a huge bonus that would be to the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's not talk about that anymore. Let's move on to the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam show, we make our mind-blowing season predictions. So please, meet us after this short break.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Boy, is this great!
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
All right, we are at the second quarter of our Bengals edition. Remember, for a transcript of this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam show, take out a piece of paper and pen and write down everything we say. All right, it's time to make our mind-blowing 2019 Seahawks season predictions. But before we do that, let's take another small glance back at the history of the team we're playing, the Cincinnati Bengals, as we look at the Cincinnati Bengals police blotter for the past. Yeah, all right. Dateline 2019. That's right, this year. They already have 3 arrests. February 2019, Cincinnati Bengal running back Mark Walton arrested in Miami on a charge of misdemeanor battery. February 2019, former Bengal player Adam Pac-Man Jones arrested in a casino for disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and possibly cheating at a casino game. That's right, you heard me right. Cheating at a casino game. In June 2019, former Cincinnati Bengal defensive end Utah's Jonathan Fanine faces charges he used a pipe, a golf club, and a broom handle to assault his wife and his sister over allegations he had extramarital affair while on a trip to Hawaii.
What did he do with the broom handle?
I don't know.
How many
All
hands
of it
does
at the
this guy
same time?
have?
Yeah, pipe,
Yeah.
golf club, and broom handle.
Well, that's the worst form of Mortal Kombat ever.
Well, that
All
sounds like a game of Clue, the old board game. It was Professor Plum with the candlestick in the study, and he beat his mother.
In Hawaii with a club against his sister.
With a broomstick.
Nothing but net.
What the?
All right, enough of those bad boys. Let's get to some mind-blowing predictions. All right, before we do that, of course, what I love to do is go back to the year before.
Oh
and
dear.
Look at our 2018 mind-blowing predictions. See how we did from last year at this time, because we do this every year before the start of the season.
I'm pretty sure I nailed it.
Yeah, here's Will. Will said Seattle would have 2,000-yard rushers. They did have 3 400-yard rushers, and none of them were named Wilson, which is pretty awesome. But but no 2,000-yard rushers this last season.
I thought I said 2 1,000. Was that 2 1,000-yard rushers or people who rushed for 2,000 yards?
2 1,000-yard rushers. Sorry.
Okay. Well, either way, I didn't get it, but I was just curious.
He said that we're going to have 2 running backs. They'll each run for 2,000 yards.
Well, that would have blown my mind.
Yeah.
My high school team, 10 games in the football season, my high school team had 2,000-yard rushers. I'm not making that up. They're pretty awesome. Yeah.
It's like the pros aren't even trying.
I know. Okay, Statsman Mark said Wilson would throw for 5,000 yards. He threw for 34-48. You were just 1,600 off.
Just a smidge.
That's a lot of tokens.
Matt said Janikowski would hit a 61-yard field goal. He hit a 56-yarder, which is amazing to hear in itself.
That was the game winner at Arizona, wasn't it?
I believe so. Dustin was really excited about Mingo, Barcavius Mingo, and he said, Mingo has had 9 sacks his whole career. He's going to have 9 sacks this season. Last season, Mingo had 1 sack. So you were just a little off.
Nailed it.
But
Only
check
8
this-
short.
But check this out. Check this out. I said the Seahawks would combine for 15 rushing touchdowns, not including Wilson. Well, Carson had 9. Davis had 4. Penny had 2. And if you total that up, gentlemen, that's 15 rushing touchdowns. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
I think that gets added
I
to
feel
our
like that got in
predictions and
scanners right now.
prognostications and stuff for this year. We get a 10-point lead.
There you go. I think I should get points for that. I agree.
That was a
All right.
I think
trifecta.
so.
That was last year. We will start we'll start with Dustin because he was just a little off with Mingo last year. So, Dustin, what is your mind-blowing season prediction for 2019 for the Seahawks?
Well, I've got 14.
Okay. Give me
No,
one.
I'm just kidding. I have one that doesn't count in an actual real one. My first one is that we're actually going to notice Rasheem Green play in a game this season. We're going to notice it one time, which would be nice.
Nah, we're okay.
He's already turning into a guy I forgot we have. It's weird.
Stop it. I like him.
Exactly. Yep.
I
No,
like
but
him.
I mean, I like the idea of him, but I'd like him to show up.
Yeah, there
sometime.
you go. Perfectly said.
That sums it up.
Yeah. All right. So my actual prediction, I'm going to say a rookie wide receiver is going to lead the team in receptions. Not the fitness model though. It's going to be the 7th rounder out of Hawaii, John Ursua. I think he's going to have most receptions on the team this year.
Say what?
Going with the 7th rounder for most receptions on the team.
Wow.
Wow.
He was definitely fun to watch in preseason.
Absolutely.
Just amazing.
And he catches everything on Madden, so that will highly influence my decision.
Oh, sure, you can play John Ursua on Madden, but you can't make the trade that Houston made with us on Madden.
Right?
Nope.
Catches everything on Madden. That's awesome. All right, that's a good one. I hope that's true. I like that kid, and I hope he does really well. Let's see. Statsman Mark, give us your mind-blowing prediction for this year.
Let's see. I know, I'm like, oh man, the mind blank. Well, you know what? In the spirit of CJ Pro Size.
Oh, dear.
There it goes.
After giving this man so much flack, I'm going to say that he's going to play in at least 10 games.
Wow.
I can't say
10
16.
games for CJ Pro Size.
But is 10 games bold enough for this guy? Because how many has he played into this point?
Bill Runder's got to be 8.
I was gonna go with 5.
I know, yeah. So I'm
I
going
don't
to
think
say
he's
10.
played 10 total.
10 games. He will at least play in 10 games.
I like it. I like it.
Wow.
All right. Statsman Mark. Will, sorry.
Well, Moses, I got to think about 2016 because I saw a news item that the Colts had cut Jamarcus Webb. And I remembered when we were actually at a point when we had to start Jamarcus Webb and a rookie George Fant and whoever the hell that other tackle was, I don't even remember his name anymore. So I figured I would come up with a prediction that would not have just blown my mind a few years ago, but possibly would have caused me to keel over dead from shock. In 2019, Seattle's offensive line will boast not 1, but 2 Pro Bowlers.
Oh,
Whoa.
2 Seahawks offensive linemen will make the Pro Bowl this year.
I'm all for it.
Unbelievable. Wow, those are bold. Now I feel like kind of a wuss for saying
It's
50
bold!
touchdowns. Yeah. All right. Here's mine.
Where's mine?
You have one? I'm sorry, Matt. Excuse me. Matt from Merry Old England. Hi.
Okay. This is why when we get to the end of the season, you go, I can't remember what Matt's was. Because every year you forget me.
You're the Rasheem Green of the show.
Matt, we love you.
Ouch.
Ouch. Okay, so my mind-blowing prediction.
You've been so quiet. You've been like a little church mouse.
What do you mean? It's only because I've got to push to talk because your microphone's picking up my mic.
Oh, yeah.
I think you
Okay.
picked up your finger on that push to talk.
Oh, I tell you.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That a Seattle Seahawk will lead the whole of the league in sacks at the end of the season.
Whoa!
It could be Clowney, it could be Ziggy, but one of ours will lead the whole of the league in sacks at the end of the season.
Could be Rasheem Green. Probably
yeah,
not.
could be.
Probably not. You lay off him. Yeah, it's funny. We're watching the game. We're watching preseason, and Little Mo, like Rasheem Green will make a play. He'll go, Rasheem Green. He'll look at me across the table. He'll go, that's your guy. I'm like, that's my guy. All right, here's mine, and I feel Matt, you got yours in, right?
Yeah, I'm done now. Thanks.
Okay. I'm kind of like Matt. I remember those 80s teams and the early 90s teams. They were like the best 8-8 team in the league. But they had like guys across the line like Sam Adams and Sinclair, right? I mean, these like guys that would always get. At one point, I believe, Matt, Will, you can correct me, but one season they had 4 guys with 10 sacks across that line. Is that true?
Might have been.
I want to say I know Sinclair, and that's when Sam Adams was with us before he went to Baltimore. Anyway, I'm not getting that bold, but I am going to say this. The Seattle Seahawks will have 3 different defensive linemen, not linebackers, 3 different defensive linemen that will have 10 or more sacks.
Oh.
That's a lot of sacks.
I hope you're right.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty scary if you can get that kind of pressure. Good things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Matt, you
All right,
still
either
there with
that or
us?
you got inside information from
Still
Michael
here.
Kendricks.
Yeah, maybe. Nice.
That'd be
Hey, let's
awesome
go.
if he was called the Insider. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. The insider. Let's go. 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
All right, 2-minute warning. And during the season, this is where we will compare our predictions, prognostications, and game balls to the previous week. But since there is no previous week, I thought we would explain the 4th annual Posse Prediction Challenge. Last season and the previous 3 seasons, the Posse and yours truly, me, challenged 5 other people, fans of the show, well, that you be the judge, to see whose side could have the most points when you total up our points in the Posse Prediction Challenge. And, well, the results are the same every year. We get our butts handed to us, defeated soundly again.
Hey, Moses.
Yes.
I'd like to propose a team name change. Instead of Team Posse, I think we should call ourselves the Washington Generals.
Nice.
I like
Perfect.
it.
Team Globetrotter, Team
Washington
General.
Generals. I will put the logo of the Washington Generals by our picks. I think that's a good idea. That will bring us luck, I'm sure. So
Yeah. Well, it can't hurt.
No.
I thought he retired.
So I had this kid in class one time, and he came up to me. I can tell you a story because it's a general story. He comes up to me, points to the word on his tape on his paper, and he goes, "What's that word?" I said, "Generals." He goes, "Generals." I said, "Yeah, generals, like the leader of an army." He goes, "Oh." He goes, "Why did I think that was dirty?" I said, "Did you think it was genitals?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "It's not. It's generals." He goes, "Okay." And he sat down.
Well, good to know.
Yeah. Generals is not genitals. Okay. So anyway, back to this. So I asked them for a rematch, and surprise, surprise, across the board, they all said, absolutely, we want to embarrass you for a 4th straight season. So they're a little too happy, but this year is again a rematch of Team 12 versus the Washington Generals, if you would. Team 12 is the same team from year after year. Jose Rodriguez, Tom Lucas, my son, Little Mo, the author of 2 great Seahawk books, Notes from a 12th Man, A Truly Biased History of the Seattle Seahawks, and his 2014 follow-up Seattle Seahawks Super Season, Notes from a 12 on the best season in Seahawks history. They're a must-have for every 12 everywhere. He's also an Emmy Award winner, and that's He's Never Naked and Afraid. Mark Ty Turner is going to join us again. And of course, the artist best known by Seahawk fans as the wonderful comic writer of Game Buzz comic strip. Wonderful, wonderful person, Mike Pascal, who comes on the show occasionally when we need a sub. Mike, just a wonderful guy. So Tom Lucas, Jose Rodriguez, my son Little Mo, Mark Ty Turner, Mike Pascal are going to play me, Matt, Mark, Dustin, and Will. And each week we're going to tally not only individual scores but total team scores. But the scoring is going to change just a little this year, just a little. Here's how you get points. We'll give a score, a prognostication, which is something cool that's going to happen during the game, something neat, something unique, and a game ball to a player who might be the most valuable player of that game for the Seahawks or not. Score, if both teams, you get the score right on both teams, you're going to get 5 points. If you get one team score exactly right, you get 3 points for that. If you have the correct teams and winning and the correct point spread. So if I say the Seahawks win by 3 and the Seahawks win by 3, even though I'll get the score right, I'm going to get 2 points. The closest overall score of everybody will get an extra bonus point. Prognostications are real simple. If it happens, you get a point. If not, you don't. Game ball is real simple. One change this year, and I did this because it's just too easy. It was too easy for people to put Russell Wilson as a game ball. So I'm removing Russell Wilson from all game balls. And it's just because it was kind of a cop-out. You know, you get to leave, Russell Wilson. Well, of course Russell Wilson's going to be important to the game. He's a quarterback, and, well, he's Russell Wilson. So no Russell Wilson on the game balls this year to kind of make things kind of interesting. And, of course, always on Sunday before the games, as close as possible, we'll try to post everyone's scores, game balls, and prognostications on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook wall for all to see on the game day thread. We want you to join us, post your own score, game ball prognostication as well. We have people come on all the time and see how they do against all of us. And it's a lot of fun. So we'll kick that competition off here in the fourth quarter of this episode. But for now, let us go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
All right, just head to Spotlight. So much more show as we roll along. Is Houday a grammatical nightmare? Does Andy Dalton have a soul? Is Blair Walsh still leaning to the left? Yes, those answers to those and so many other questions coming up. But right now, it's 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia, and that is next!
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world!
Trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants on the posse themselves, Will, Dustin, Maddie, and Mark. And here they come day rules they are. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
All right, you all know the rules. You can ask the kids once in the 2 rounds. The questions are Bengal related, Jadeveon Clowney related, and Seahawk related, of course. And of course, every round there's one. It's just a little different than the rest of them. We will go ahead and, Matt had a rough preseason. He had a rough offseason. So, Matt, we're going to let you pick first. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I'll go 3, please.
Matt goes 3. Dustin's going to have to pay insurance very soon. Dustin, 1, 2, or 4?
4, please. I'm putting all that off as long as possible.
I don't blame you one bit. Will, 1 or 2?
I'll take 1.
Okay. Mark, would you like number 2?
I guess that's all kidney stone and parathyroid surgery.
Burn.
Oh, man. I will never. I'm a terrible friend. That's just all.
No. I just thought of that line. I'm like, I gotta use this
that's
one.
classic. I am a terrible. I'm something we learned tonight. Moses is a terrible friend.
No, because I have doctors down the street and help me through mental issues. Then. Oh wait, are we recording?
California,
Oh.
You're a California.
Mark.
Right.
Given what you've been through, maybe you should have number 1.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
All right. Will, here's your question.
Okay.
You know, we're talking about the Bengals, so we're talking about their arrests, right? So since 2000, what NFL franchise has had the most arrests since 2000? Is it the Bengals, the Broncos, or the Vikings?
Great question.
Wow, I want to say Bengals, but that just seems too easy.
We all want to say Bengals. Bengals, Broncos, or Vikings? What NFL franchise has had the most arrests since 2000? Dance!
Well, Vikings had Ontario Smith in the original Wizinator, which should be in a class all itself.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Denver might be a mile high. I'm going with the Broncos.
You might be a mile high.
That's awesome.
All right. You said Denver. It's funny because Little Mo and Mosette, they both said the Bengals. They went with the Bengals. Nah, I'm sorry. It is the Vikings.
Oh, wow.
The Vikings at 49, the Broncos at 47, and the Bengals at 44. But those are the top three. So.
Wow. That goes back to the USS Culpeper, the boat.
Yes, it does. I'm sure.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Half of them might have been that one night.
Half of them were that.
Yep. Including, who's that one guy? Fred? Is it Fred or something Smoot? Do you remember that name?
Oh,
Fred Smoot. That was Fred Smoot. Yeah.
All right, Mark. Mark, in the only playoff game between the Seahawks and the Bengals was in Cincinnati in 1988. How many rushing touchdowns did the Bengals have in that game? Did the Bengals have? Did they have 1, 2, or 3? How many rushing touchdowns against the Seahawks in 1988 playoff game?
Wow.
1, 2, or 3?
Wow, 1988. Well, I was heavily under the influence.
I did not enjoy that game.
Boy.
The Bengals may have been as well, according to the police blotter.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's. What rushing touchdowns?
How many rushing touchdowns? 1, 2, or 3 for the Bengals?
I'm gonna say 2.
He's gonna
I'll
say
say
2.
2.
He's gonna say. Mosette said 2. Little Mo said 2 or 3. You said 2. Nah, I'm sorry. It is 3. 21-13, and I really liked both teams at the time because I was kind of a Bengal fan, because I lived by it. And I really liked the Seahawks, and it was 21-0, and I thought, well, finally, at least it's a blowout. And then the Seahawks came back, made it 21-13. I'm like, oh, stop it, because I need one of them to, win. But that was back in '88. So, 3. 21-13 win for the Bengals.
That was the Super Bowl representative that season, right? Was that a Boomer Esiason?
Yes, it was.
Sam Weiss? Yep. Wow.
Yes, it was.
And, that was crazy.
Yeah. And Stanley Wilson.
Shuffle.
Yep, and Stanley Wilson, which we'll get into later. Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Hey, Matt, the last time the Seahawks beat the Bengals in Seattle was 2007. They won 24-21. I believe I was at that game. Who caught the game-winning catch from Matt Hasselbeck with a minute left in the game? Was it Deion Branch, Bobby Ingram, or Nate Burleson? Who caught that game-winning catch? Deion Branch, Bobby Ingram, or Nate Burleson?
Ooh.
Minute left.
I would say Nate Burleson.
You're going to say Nate Burleson. I like Nate Burleson. You like Nate Burleson?
So do I. I love him on the network.
Me too.
A superstar in the studio now. The guy.
Yes, he is.
Totally.
He's amazing.
Yep.
Both kids, Lil Momos, that said Bobby Ingram. You went with Nate Burleson. Yes!
Yay!
Woohoo!
See, it means something, guys. Matt got a point. Yeah, Nate Burleson caught it.
Yay,
And I
Nate
think,
Burleson.
if I remember right, he did his little. Remember, he always used to do his little arm flapping thing. He did that. All right, Dustin. Here we go. You ready?
Yep. Sure.
It's a Jadeveon Clowney question. Who's the only team Jadeveon Clowney forced a fumble against last season? The only team he forced a fumble against last season. Now, he recovered 2, but he only forced 1, according to records. Was it the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Miami Dolphins? Who did he force a fumble against last season? Jaguars, Eagles, or Dolphins?
No, man, I was hoping there was a division rival that double his chances.
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been
Dolphins.
nice?
I'll say Dolphins.
He's going to go with the Dolphins. Going with the fish. Mosette said the Dolphins. Little Mo said the Jaguars. You said the Dolphins. No, it was the Eagles. Forced a fumble against the Eagles. So, Matt has a point, and everyone else is just hanging around. So that means that we will let Matt go first here. Matt, 5, 6, 7, or 8?
6, please.
6, Matt. Mark, I'm going to let you go next. 5, 7, or 8?
Boy, we'll go 7.
Okay. Dustin?
8.
5 or 8? And Will, you're number 5.
All right. I love that
All right.
movie.
Yeah. Number 5 is alive. Here we go. Will, the first time the Seahawks beat the Bengals in Seattle was 1990. How many times did the Seahawks sack Bengal quarterback Boomer Esiason in that game? 2, 3, or 4? How many times did they sack Boomer in 1990? 2, 3, or 4?
You know, I remember that game because we started out 0-3. They were 3-0. We played on Monday Night Football, and we kicked the crap out of them.
Yep.
So I'm going to go 4.
He's going to go 4. Little Mo went 4. Mosette went 3. You went 4. Now, it is 3. Only 3. Yeah, that's all right.
All right, I'm in mid-season form here.
Mid-season
Woohoo!
form. Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Hey, Matt, do you know where Bengal Bay is? Bengal Bay? Is it near Argentina, Brazil, or Jamaica? Bengal Bay, is it near Argentina, Brazil, or Jamaica?
I was expecting it to be in the Indian Ocean. Okay, well, I'm going to
You would think, right? I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
Bengal. That's what I was.
Well,
that's what
yeah.
I was expecting it to be, but that's clearly ruined
This is
my
Bengal
life.
Bay. This is like a vacation spot. So it's either Argentina, Brazil, or Jamaica.
Well, okay, I'm going to ask the kids.
Ask kids. Little Mo said Argentina, and Mosette said Brazil.
Argentina or Brazil? Well, I mean,
No one said Jamaica.
no one's at Jamaica. Okay, well, I'm going to go with. I'll go with Jamaica then.
Jamaica. Jamaica me nervous. Here we go. You said Jamaica. Oh, it was Brazil.
Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another good movie.
Yeah, another good movie. Movie references all over this one. Mark.
We're all in this together, kid.
You,
Mark?
senor.
Jadeveon Clowney question. How many touchdowns did he score in his NFL career? 1, 2, or 3? How many touchdowns did Clowney score in his NFL career? Has he scored? 1, 2, or 3? That's interesting.
My percentage isn't so hot. I always overlook the kids, so I might as well use the opportunity.
Why not? You got nothing to lose. Little Mo and Mosette both said 1. Nobody said 2. Nobody said 3. How many touchdowns has Jadeveon Clowney, I like that first name, scored in his NFL career?
Oh boy. Well, I got to go with the kids. I can't fade the kids, so
Can't
we'll
fade
go
the
with
kids. So he's going with 1. It sounds so wrong. It is wrong.
Ugh.
It's 2. Yeah, it's 2. He scored 2 touchdowns, right? All right. Dustin.
A buzzer.
Here we go. The last time the Seahawks and Bengals played each other in Cincinnati was 2015.
Hey,
How many times did Russell Wilson get sacked? 2, 3, or 4?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say too many.
Yeah, well, 1 is too many. 2, 3, or 4. How many times did Russell get sacked against the Bengals in 2015?
What were the options again?
2, 3, 4.
4.
4.
We had a great offensive line.
That was, remember, they were undefeated, and then we had to play the Panthers, and they were undefeated, and it was just like, how many did you say?
I think 4.
You said 4.
Yeah.
Little Mo said 4. Mosette said 2. You said 4. Yes!
I don't like being right about that.
Well, get it wrong next
That
time.
makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes. I never want to make you uncomfortable. But I will tell you this. It is Matt with 1, Dustin with 1, Mark and Will are at 0, and it is time for that final question. Final question. Here we go. It's high-low. The closest one without going over gets the 2 points and will be 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion of this episode. Okay, the order we will go.
That's of the world, Dennis. That's of the world.
Yeah, of the world. Will, Mark, Dustin, and Matt is our order. Here we go. Gentlemen, your question is this. Will, you first. How many sacks did Jadeveon Clowney have at South Carolina? at college? How many sacks at college for Jadeveon Clowney? That's a thinker.
Especially when I have no idea how many years he went to college.
Now, I will say
Makes
this.
it tricky.
Remember, and I'm not saying this because it's part of the answer, but it could be. Remember, there could be a 0.5 in there. I'm just throwing that out because you can get half a sack. So just be aware. How many sacks did Jadeveon Clowney have at South Carolina?
Actually, it's weird. The stat board at the Hawks-Raiders preseason game had Oakland with 3.5 sacks.
I saw that.
How do you have a half sack if
How do you
you're
get
a
3
team?
as a team?
Just thought that was amusing.
I don't know.
Okay, 18.5.
18.5 for Will. Mark, how many sacks for Jadeveon Clowney at Carolina?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with 22.
Mark's going with 22 even. Dustin, 18.5, 22. How many sacks?
I don't know. The way they were talking about him on the radio the other day, I'm pretty sure like he had 22 sacks in that Peach Bowl game. So I'll say 23.
Oh, 23.
Remember, guys, better to have bad sacks than no sacks at all.
Will at 18.5, Mark at 22, Dustin at 23, Matt
23 and 50 cents. No, 23.5.
23.5. Wow, you guys.
Lame.
Oh.
I didn't even get prices righted there. I got half prices righted.
I know. The amount of sacks that Jadeveon Clowney
Text.
had
Yeah.
at South Carolina is 24 even.
Oh, boo.
Oh.
It means something. Oh, Matt, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you.
Order that trophy. There goes. Wow. Congratulations, Matt. Well done.
Thanks very much. I've got a cough and everything then.
Do you want to thank anybody in particular?
I'd like to thank the doctors that got me through June.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you to them as well. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Thank you, doctors, for getting him through June. Wow, another amazing, incredible, fantastic, crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world.
Of the world.
of the world. We're right back with the second half of this show right
Of
after
the
this.
universe.
Sex Pistols take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Nice.
Love this song.
Oh, yeah. Everybody. Ah, Kitty. President of the United States of America from Seattle, by the way. Welcome to your third quarter, your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Yes, this is the episode, a part of the episode, the second half, where we talk about the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and those Cincinnati Bengals. 1 p.m. Seattle time on Sunday. It's a home opener for once, which has been a while. So we're going to do all kinds of stuff on this quarter. We're going to look at that game, and we're going to start. Goodbye, President of the United States of America. Let's see
We'll
how
miss you.
healthy. Yes, we will. Hey, let's see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with our very own 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
Well, I want to start this injury report with a public service announcement here. I just want to say, for the record, that this year, CJ, Mr. Glass Pro Size, won't be listed on the injury report unless he's earned it.
Okay.
He's on the team. He played well in the preseason. My hope is that he forces me to stop making fun of him by being available and making plays.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Nice.
He has to earn the list
So far, so good.
by
That's
not
good.
showing up.
I think that's wonderful.
All right, so now down to business. We have 3 players that are out. Backup center Joey Hunt is out. He's got an ankle injury. Hasn't practiced. David Moore. It's listed as a shoulder injury. It's actually a fracture to his humerus. Or
That's
a
not
break.
very funny.
No, not at all.
Shoulder bones connected to the leg bone. Bones. No.
Technically, that is part of the shoulder joint, but they said he fractured his humerus. I don't know where on the bone it's fractured. I don't know how bad it is, but the fact that he can move around and it's not displaced and he doesn't have to have surgery or a cast can't be that bad. Sounds more like a stress fracture, and that's why he's not able to practice because it has the potential to get worse if he does.
Yuck.
Yeah, so he's not playing. Defensive end, first round draft pick, LJ. Is it Collier or Collier? Collier. Okay. Yeah, he's not playing. He hurt his ankle early in the preseason. We haven't seen him yet. He's limited in practice. Pete's hoping we get him back here in a couple weeks. He's not going to play. Questionable players. Mike Iapati, or Apati. Again, I'm still learning this I'm learning how to talk, mostly. But the guard from San Francisco, he's going to be a game time decision, apparently. He had a foot injury earlier in the preseason, had a calf injury after that, and they're not sure if he's going to play or not. He went through some practices. It's going to be game time decision. Defensive end, Ezekiel Ziggy Ansah. Shoulder injury is what he's listed as. Limited time in practice. Basically, he practiced the last 2 weeks. They just want to see how the workload does for him on Sunday, and if he seems like he's fine after going through all the practices, he's going to play. So I think it's just being overly cautious by listing him, in my opinion.
Yes.
And that's it for the Seahawks. Then we move on to the Bengals from Cincinnati. And wide receiver AJ Green out.
Ooh, big.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle Cordy Glenn. He's their starting left tackle. Out. He did not make it through the concussion protocol.
Ouch.
Also good for the Seahawks, seeing as how we got Clowney and I'm sure Ansah. I'm going to figure that one out.
Ziggy. Call him Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy. We'll go with Ziggy. Yeah, so that helps us. We bolstered that defensive line a little bit, and that offensive tackle being out helps us where we got better. And then they have a running back, Travion Williams. He's got a foot injury, hasn't participated in practice. And then they have one player that's doubtful. He's a wide receiver. His name is Tate. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I'm tired of not pronouncing names right. I'm not going to say it. He's got a knee injury. He was limited in practice, and he's doubtful to play.
We'll call him Bob.
It's Auden. However you say it in your head, we will pretend that's right.
Auden.
And that's it for the injury report.
All right. A couple quick questions for you
about
your injury report.
Yeah.
First off, Statsman Mark, the guard from San Francisco sounds a lot like the streets of San Francisco, but we won't go into that.
Right.
Okay.
Question,
Sounds like something ended up in a Mystery Science Theater episode.
Actually-
The guard from San
Francisco International.
And I jacked that up too. Didn't he come from Arizona? Wasn't he in Arizona last?
Yeah, he was Arizona. But anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
more important question about Joey Hunt. Does he have a brother named Mike? And if you say that out loud, you'll know why I said that.
Ask that bartender on The Simpsons.
That's
Right.
exactly right. No. You little kids, I'll get you. All right, thank you for a wonderful, wonderful injury report, Dr. Dustin. And now we are going to take a look at what the weather and fashion is going to be for that game by turning to a guy living in Europe. Yes, it's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. I have been so unwell over this off-season, all my usual contacts at the various weather centres around the world have gone on vacation without telling me. So I was a bit stuck really for getting someone to give me the latest update on the weather over in America. But I got lucky. because apparently your president declared himself a bit of a weather and geography expert this week. So I used my direct line to the Oval Office, which you know I have,
Yes.
and asked the top man himself. He promised me the best weather forecast ever. There would be incredible weather, the best weather there's ever been in the history of all weather. He even told me that he's going to make American weather great again. But I was a bit worried when he mentioned something about Alabama getting a piece of this weather too. I did point out to him that the game was being played in Washington State on the other side of the country, but he immediately emailed me 5 maps with Sharpie lines showing just how close those 2 states really are. So I'm sold. Expect full sunshine, temperatures in the high 90s, and no rain. Now that's presidentially guaranteed. What to wear for this game?
Oh dear.
No, what to wear for this game? For the fashion segment, what to wear for this game? Well, look, the Cincinnati Bengals are coming to town for the first time since forever. So we need to make them feel welcome. So I did some research and I got very excited when I saw that Cincinnati is also known as the Queen City.
Yes.
But I thought,
Dear.
it's too obvious. You can't tell everyone to go to a home game season opener dressed in leather harness complete with Freddie Mercury moustaches and pride flags. No. You must try harder. So also, Cincinnati is also famous for chilies. So
Yes.
maybe you could go dressed as a giant chili. But Cincinnati is also famous for being America's least funny city. Which is odd, because their football team is such a joke.
Oh!
Look, it's a home opener. It's a home opener. Whether you go in a gay leather bondage gear or chili costume, just throw a Seahawks jersey over the top of that and you will look amazing. With that being said, it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. Moses, back over to you.
Oh, fantastic. As always, thank you so much. Matt from Maryland, England with a fantastic weather and fashion report. And now we're going to take a look at the numbers on this game and maybe some other games by going to By the Numbers with Statsman Mark for maybe a teaser or two.
Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number.
Well, just like my halftime trivia winning correct answer percentage, it's always an adventure.
Yes.
But the last year, out of 50 games, I went, it was, let's see if I can do the math, 23, 25, and a couple pushes. So not too bad. But this year, I'm doing something different. I'm picking 5 games a week, very ambitious. I'm gonna pretend like I'm in the Westgate Super Contest in Vegas.
All right.
And except now, of course, I don't have to lose $1,500 on the buy-in, right? So that is, and they're gonna get around $1,400 per competing for $1.5 million. So, and just to give you an idea of how good the competition is, out of 85 games, last year's first place winner finished, and this is against the point spread, not just a pick and winner, 58, 22, and 5.
Dang.
That's against the spread.
That's pretty
For
amazing.
72%, that is
That's
insane.
amazing. That's
That
insane.
is absolutely. If you're a
crazy.
big gambler in Vegas and you're hitting 55%, you're making money.
Oh, right.
So to hit 72, the guy, I mean,
Nice.
that would be like super lotto. So
Oh, yeah,
it
absolutely.
reminds me of why I don't pay $1,500 to try and win. But we're gonna pick 5 games, and we'll see how I do here.
All right.
And really quickly, of course, I'm going to be a typical square better, which is like the public, and I'm going with all favorites.
Hey, why not?
But, and again, to lead off, I hate to kick a team when they're down, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that means after the Dolphins traded away just about everybody to Houston, I'm going to take Baltimore, now a 7-point favorite. So it's -7 in Baltimore. The next pick will be, Detroit lost in Detroit a year ago, 48-17 to the. That was the Detroit. That's the way they opened their season a year ago. Now they're on the road, and I think they're going to spoil the inaugural game for Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. I'm going to take Detroit. At the time, the line was -2.5. I don't know what it is now. So
Nice.
Detroit -2.5. The third game. Got to go with our homeboys. This is a huge number, 9.5. That's a massive point spread. But you know what? We're going to clobber the Bengals, and we'll get into the final score later. But I'm going to go -9.5. Seldom do pros do that kind of wager. I can't stand these guys, but they're solid at home. I'm gonna lay the points again. I'm gonna go New England -6.5 hosting Pittsburgh. And in the spirit of Antonio Brown playing, or maybe he'll get suspended over the next 72 hours, whichever comes first.
Even money.
I'm going to lay the 1.5 points. That's actually was the spread at the time. Real quick, once AB was rumored to be suspended, Oakland went from a 1.5 point favorite to a 2.5 point underdog. I'm just going to go with. I'll still lay the 1.5. I'll take Oakland, and that means Oakland has to win by 2 points. And there are the 5 picks, and we'll see if any of these are correct, or if they match my trivia win percentage.
Fantastic. Do you have the over/under for our game by chance? Seattle's over and under.
I think that when I over on the radio, even though we're favored by a bunch, I think the over/under is right around 43.5 or 44.
All right, that'll work.
Which is pretty low in
yeah, because we'll have our over
when you include the
43.5 then. That sounds good. And remember, this is a disclaimer. These numbers that Mark has presented have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting or anything like that, or really anything we talk about at any time. Don't take anything we take seriously on this show ever. Thank you again, Mark, so very much. We appreciate it.
Well, yes, I suspect that people are not placing much, if any, money on my advice, but that's okay.
And now it's time for a quick reading from the self-appointed Reverend Moses from the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Reverend.
Yes, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Good.
Doing well.
Oh, you sound wonderful. As you sound great, Matt. I've been praying for you all off-season. You know that.
Thank you.
I do what I can. Cleolanda's here. She's been praying for you, too, when she's been out of rehab. Now, my friends, we are going to have a reading from the book of the 2019 NFL season, Chapter 1, verses 3 to 12. And so it came to pass that a new journey did face those within Seahawk Positivity, but there was no sadness, for only joy and excitement was found there. So as those striped cats from the city of Queens did come into our land, there was no fear. We did not fear that chili, because those cats were then met by a mighty roar from Seahawk Positivity, and those kitties did run away scared. They went home to nurse their wounds, for they had felt the true power of Seahawk Positivity. My brethren, go forth and spread the good word of Seahawk Positivity. Praise Large and praise Cortez, praise Walter Jones, praise Kenny Easley. Go Hawks! That is the end of our third quarter, my friends. You are listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Who Day, We Day. That's Who Day. We'll be right back right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Are we having fun yet?
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Okay, it's time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode, 706 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. This is where we make our game score predictions, our prognostications, our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday, 1 o'clock Seattle time, in front of a bunch of crazy Seahawk fans. Let's get to our picks. Let's start with Team 12. Jose said score 2013. Prognostication, we get more rushing yards. And I end my birthday happy. I didn't get his game ball, but I know he had me one. I'll have to find it. So, here it is. Game ball to Clowney. There he is. Game ball to Clowney, who will get to Dalton so much he'll shave his head after the game just to avoid being called Clowney's redhead stepchild.
That's a good one.
You gotta love that one. All right. Tom, Hawks 31-21. Game ball Clowney. Clowney 3 sacks, including a strip sack. Little Mo, Seahawks 42. Bengals 10 because Andy Dalton. That's like 42-10. Why? He goes, because Andy Dalton. That's okay. Game ball to Carson. Prognostication, 100 yards rushing for Carson. Mark, Ty, Turner. Hawks 27, Bengals 13. Game ball to Carson. Clowney, sacks Dalton. That's his prognostication. Mike Pascal. Crap! Good way to start the season. Birds 23. Cats 13, just to be sure this time. Birds means Seahawks wise guy. I guess that's to me. Prognostication, Hawks D gets 3 sacks. Game ball to the defense, so they have to really show up for him to get the game ball. All right, now it's time for Team Posse. Mark. Statsman Mark.
Hey.
What you got for me?
Well, first off, the score will be 32. And I mentioned Disley earlier because...
Hold on, I missed it. 30 to what?
16.
Thank you.
And I was talking about Disley earlier because I think he will have a touchdown. I guess a receiving touchdown, most likely.
Nice.
Yes, I'm rooting for this guy.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see, game ball. I will give to. I'll just stick with Disley. I think he's going to show up and have.
Uncle Will. Speaking of Uncle Will, what do you got?
Well, Moses, I have Seattle winning this game 24-13. My game ball is going to go to Chris Carson, and my prognostication is actually inspired by one of the trivia questions tonight.
Ooh.
I say that Jadeveon Clowney gets touchdown number 3 for his career.
Wow.
Nice. Love it. Say what? Dustin, how are you, Dustin? It's good hearing from you.
Yeah, you too, man. It's fun to be doing this again.
It is. And Mark and Will, I'm sorry. It's great to hear from you guys, too. I just
I mean, you don't have to
You're
be
included.
nice. I mean, you can be honest.
Yeah. I'm trying
I appreciate being the afterthought. It's all good.
Yeah, well, Will's no afterthought. Dustin, what do you got for us?
I'm gonna say Seahawks win 28-9. Prognostication is that I'm gonna ride this pro size train just for a week, just to see what it feels like. I'm gonna say pro size is gonna get in the end zone, and I'm gonna give him the game ball.
Wow! I like it. I so hope you're right.
What parallel universe did I fall into?
I
here?
know! Where the hell is
And
going
Fetty
on?
will have no penalties.
Nobody's going that bold.
When Infetti makes the Pro Bowl, that's when I know we're in true bizarre world.
Right?
Okay, Matt. Hi, Matt.
See, now I've got Love Train in my head, that song. People all over the world. Join us.
Yes, the OJs.
It's the precise.
Oddly enough.
All right, let me think about this. So Bengals.
You got to think about it?
Yeah, I got to think about this.
Take your time. It's, you knew you were doing a show about 6 months ago, but you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been nearly dead. I think the score's going to be the Seahawks 27, Bengals 10.
27-10, you say?
Yeah, I think the Bengals were ranked really bad against the pass last year, so I think this is a good game for Wilson to stretch his arm. So I think it's going to be 27-10. I think game ball, I'm going to go with Trey Flowers.
Oh, nice.
And my
Who is now number 21.
Andy Dalton had 11 interceptions last year. So I look out for an early INT for Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
Bold prediction.
Nice.
Andy Dalton throws 11 interceptions this game.
They weren't near bold enough.
Oh, God.
I'll allow it.
Hang on a second here. I've got my prediction ready to go, but I wanted to make Matt feel, because he hasn't felt well. Matt has not felt well, so.
It's not like he had surgery.
Well, I know, but. There you go, Matt. Little love train for you.
Oh, I love it. It's the
There you go.
precise train.
Join the love train, everybody. All right.
Just, Dustin, when you get
Who
on
the
that
hell
train,
is
can
snapping
you,
their fingers? Stop it.
can you be really
Okay.
gentle when you get on that train, though, Dustin? Because you don't want to injure him or anything.
I will keep my distance.
Plenty of bubble wrap. All right, my turn. Hey, the Seahawks start this season clawing back to the top of the NFC hype wagon. The pundits are mostly salivating over a team this offseason, basically after calling them a rebuilding project last year after they went 10-6. Seahawks appear to be given a small reward this year by not only opening at home, but opening at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right, Seattle. Lock away your daughters and lock up that liquor cabinet. The Bengals are coming to town. And they bring a new head coach named Zach Taylor, who looks like a watered-down, crappier little brother version of Rams head coach Sean McVay. Sorry, Cincinnati. Every young hotshot hanging around Daddy's practice field is not going to be the answer. The Bengals are led offensively by Andy Dalton, who, as you can tell by the obvious red hair, that he has absolutely no soul. And it is too bad, because if Andy had a soul, he might try to sell it for a Bengal playoff win, seeing as the Bengal franchise hasn't had a playoff win since 1990, when Andy Dalton was 3 years old. and Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer ruled the charts.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, mine goes bum, 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 and Queen's goes bum, 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 bum. Watch as my game ball. Watch as my game ball Ziggy Ansah. That's right, the forgotten free agent pass rusher. He gets not one, but 2 sacks for my prognostication. He's also my game ball as the Seahawks beat the Bengals by a score of Seattle Seahawks 27, Cincinnati Bengals 17. Book it.
It is so booked.
Oh, this is so much fun.
What's our score predictions for the whole season? Are we Are we 11-5s? Are we 10-6?
Oh, we're going to play 16 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna play 16 this year.
Blown.
That's it.
Mark, Statsman Mark, do you know the over/under for us season? 9.5.
Vegas has it at 8.5.
Really?
I'm putting some money
Yeah.
down on that.
To be honest, I hope we
Speaking
play
of Vanilla
19
Ice, I
games
need them
this
to
season.
stop, collaborate, and listen. Yeah. The Seahawks are not the team like that. They're much better than that.
Yes.
I know that doesn't rhyme. I'm not a rapper. Thank you.
Thank God. And on
Well,
that,
Dustin, if you were, the name Too Short is already taken. So.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I could reference some songs, but I won't. This is a family-friendly show.
I was going to stop, but this is getting too good. You guys keep going. I'll just sit back and let you kind of tear each other up a little bit. I'll just eat my popcorn and watch this happen here. All right, are you done? I guess.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I've got to find one of them shade noises that they throw on RuPaul's Drag Race.
No. Oh, that's what happened.
Nice.
All right. You know what we didn't have, and I'm very, very disappointed. One noise that did not come on the show today, and we really should have had it, especially with CJ Prosize. I mean, you're talking about the preseason, and man, what a great job that Prosize did. And he came out and he played real well, and you just wonder, Mark, you wonder about CJ Prosize. Did he maybe, I don't know, did he maybe take some voodoo or something? What do you think?
Take some voodoo? Oh,
What do you
yes.
think,
How
man?
could I forget?
What do you think, man?
He put a bunch of
CJ
medical
Prosize
tape on
looks
this
great.
voodoo doll.
Yes, well, I think there was a trail of popcorn from the infirmary to the locker room, so I guess that ties in.
There you go. There's always an answer. All right, here we go. It is time now. We're going to bring close another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show. We're glad you decided to waste some time with us before the game. We certainly hope you laughed a little. Maybe you learned a little something along the way. We learned a lot, especially in the last couple minutes. But
Or did we?
yeah, we did. But what else did we learn? Well, we learned that we all love Matt, because we do. And yeah, and Moses is a terrible friend. And Joey Hunt, we don't know if Joey Hunt has a brother named Mike, but he better. And Will is no afterthought. We all learned all that. So on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our newshound Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin is the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mosette, Little Mo, Mark, Ty Turner, Tom Lucas, Jose Rodriguez. I'm kidding, Jose. Mike Pascal, Kenny Anderson, Booby Clark, Anthony Munoz. This is Moses saying until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks!
We day.
Booby? Is that a name?
Look it up, my friend. Look it
I'm hoping that's just a nickname.
up. No, that was, yeah. Booby Clark played for the Bengals. Look it up.
Wow.
I got frisked by.
I wouldn't go to
Bubble
Google
at the
Images for
airport.
that one. Unless you want to.
Don't go to Google for Booby
No.
Clark.